Next, I'm going to talk about App Store and Marketplace optimization. You might use different words for this. ASO, App Store Optimization, or SEO, Search Engine Optimization. Usually when we talk about SEO, we're talking about Google and Bing. But search engines don't just exist on Google and Bing. They exist in marketplaces where you use search. They exist in app stores where you do search. So you could also call it search engine optimization. Now, the first question you might have is, how is this growth hacking? Isn't this just ordinary digital marketing? Well, I would say that when you're optimizing for Google and Bing search results, you're doing ordinary marketing. It's slow, it's a competitive market, and it is something that builds up over time. But when you're dealing with app stores and marketplaces, often what you find is that even sophisticated, well-funded companies have not put a lot of time into keyword research, into making sure they have enough reviews to get to the top of the listings. So often what these are is low supply markets where you can get results very quickly. Now, in some of my experience optimizing listings in app stores, I'm actually able to get to the front page in a matter of minutes, literally minutes, not months, not weeks, not days, but within minutes of making some small tactical changes, I'm able to get there. So in that sense, I would definitely call this a form of growth hacking. One thing to point out is that it's much easier than Google or Bing. The algorithms that are typically used on app stores and in marketplaces, and again, I'm talking a lot of the times about very sophisticated companies like Intuit. They're sophisticated companies, but the algorithms that they use for search are not that sophisticated. They're where Google was maybe 10 years ago. And if you were doing marketing back then, you would realize that optimizing for Alta Vista, optimizing for Google, optimizing for Yahoo was much easier. There were techniques, hacks that you could do to get to the front page very easily. You can't do that anymore. The algorithm's too sophisticated, and there's also just too much competition. Too many people invested in search engine optimization, but that's not the case with app stores to a large extent. But there are also some disadvantages. So you can get results faster. It's much more simplistic to get results. But the other thing is that it's less established. And because it's less established, it makes certain research more difficult. And the primary case here is keyword research. You don't have data, for example, on how many people are searching for a given keyword on apps.com. You don't have data for how many people are searching for a given keyword on Steam. So it's kind of like the Wild West. You're entering new territory. There aren't set rules. This is the kind of place where a growth hacker, an entrepreneurial, agile person is able to play around with different tactics and see what works. And the great thing is that because you can get results quickly, it's easy to get feedback so that you can make adjustments. So I'm going to walk you through a few examples of how to do keyword research. And the first set of examples is really about the autocomplete function. So because we don't have a keyword research planner in a lot of cases, especially with these smaller app marketplaces, what you're going to do is start typing in a word that's relevant to what you're selling. So here I'm typing in INV, maybe that's invoicing that I'm selling, maybe it's inventory. And what's going to happen here on the Salesforce App Exchange is it's going to give me a list of keywords that people search for. And what I would do is I would start creating a spreadsheet and list these keywords as potential keywords for me to optimize for. And then what you can do is you can actually do a search for that keyword. So I might hit enter after hitting inventory management and just look at things like how many reviews are there? Is this a popular app? So you can start making guesses in terms of the volume of people that you think intuitively are searching for that keyword. And there's going to be a lot of guesswork. Again, it's like the Wild West. You do the same thing on Amazon. With Amazon, you probably want to specify the specific category or store. So if you're selling books, you can select Kindle store, or you can select books as a category. I typed in investing here, and you can see investing for dummies, investing with teens, investing for beginners, investing in real estate. So here I'm seeing where the demand is in terms of search engine keywords. And what you might decide, for example, investing for kids. Maybe that becomes the title of your book. Maybe originally when you wrote the book, it was simple investing for dummies. Well, when I look at these keywords, all right, I'm just going to change the title on Amazon. And you can even change it after you published it. Now we're going to go into the category of appliances. So I have a friend who's interested in getting into the microwave space. So he's thinking about ordering microwaves from China through Alibaba, selling them. So maybe he wants to set up a store on Amazon. Well, let's do some keyword research. Okay, so we have microwave countertop, microwave and toaster oven combo, microwave over the range. Okay, so none of these keywords is actually relevant to the specific use case of why he wanted to sell a specific microwave. So that has a number of implications. One is maybe it's just not a viable product offering because there's not enough demand. The other is that he just needs to start going after other keywords because people aren't actively searching for it, even if they do want it. AliExpress, just like Amazon, start typing in the word and you're going to see a list of what people are actually searching for, which is a proxy for how much demand there is for that keyword. Audible, which is a fairly new frontier, not as established as Kindle, more established perhaps than other audio-based platforms that are starting to come out right now. And we can use the autocomplete function here. So I typed in AN and we got anxious people, Animal Farm, Andy Weir, anxiety. So there's a mix of keywords. There's also a mix of authors and titles of books. Etsy, same thing. If you're in this niche, necklaces for women, necklaces with names. So you may decide, hey, you know what? I have this necklace I'm going to sell. Why don't we make it specifically as necklace is for mom, and then use that keyword in the positioning. Perhaps create a separate listing that's catered to necklaces for women to see, can I go after a broader market or do I have to niche down? The mobile app stores are also a good place to start doing keyword research with autocomplete. I went into Google Play, I typed in monkey, and you can see monkey games, monkey city, monkey. Steam, a marketplace for video games. In this case, what you're going to find is that there really isn't autocomplete. What instead they offer is a population of products that start with R when I type in R. So here the R is stands for Rainbow Six. This is for Rebirth. So they're just giving you product selection. They're not giving you keywords. So in cases like that, it becomes actually even more difficult to do keyword optimization because there is no autocomplete to give you inspiration for keywords. Now, the good thing is that if you are in a marketplace that is fairly large, has a lot of volume, but the downside is that those tend to be more competitive markets, you can use special tools. So for example, if you are selling a book on Amazon, what you can use is a tool like Publisher Rocket, which I tried out myself. And they're going to give you data so that you don't just need to rely on autocomplete keywords. So this shows you what keyword shoppers type into Amazon. You can see the list of keywords here. Number of competitors, average monthly earnings to see is that a high demand market you even want to participate in. They're also giving you Google searches sometimes. Estimated Amazon searches per month. So how many shoppers search for that keyword, and then a competitive scope. So how competitive this keyword is. Another tool that you could use is Selix, which is going to give you keyword data for your optimizing your Amazon listing, which may not necessarily be a book. It could be gloves, for example, demonstrated here. And what they do is they have a keyword and then they show you the search volume for that keyword. You can see that workout gloves is really where the high demand is for that. Now, another thing I want to point out is there are lots of these tools out there for keyword optimization on different platforms. The thing is, again, you're in the Wild West. A lot of these are not going to be perfect. They're going to use flawed algorithms. They're going to try to approximate demand. There are going to be things that are going to skew averages. So for example, there's a book I'm interested in that's $300. And there are going to be people that are giving away products for free. So there's a lot of data in there that is going to skew the averages, and you might get a distorted perspective on how much products sell, how much volume there is for keywords. So you really need to test these out and find the one that's most effective for you. The other thing is that there are going to be tools out there that are a little more general. So for example, there are keyword research tools for Amazon, but they're not going to be particularly effective if you're selling a book on Amazon. Now, they're going to be fine if you're selling appliances and toys and kind of the prototypical use case for Amazon, but you're going to want to niche down and use a tool that's specific to books if that's the case that you're in. So some of these are not going to be reliable. I recommend trying out a few of them. They're going to have free trials. Some of them are completely free. So this particular one, keyword tool, is completely free, but sometimes it's questionable, is the data coming in from this good or not? And you can see that they're actually providing data for different platforms. So there's Google, which you can use Keyword Planner for anyways, YouTube, Bing, Amazon, eBay, Play Store, Instagram, Twitter. So that's great. They're giving you a lot of options for free. It's a good place to start because it's free. And here, comparing what I did earlier with Amazon, you can put in some of those keywords here and it'll give me an estimate for search volume. It can show me the trend. Is this a growing market or not? The cost per click and the competition, which you can see is high. So my friend who wants to enter the microwave market should be aware that you're going to have some competition in organic search in that space. Now, another example is when you're selling a mobile app. You can use a tool like this one, and what it's going to do is provide you with a traffic estimate, iPhone difficulty, iPad difficulty. So something like Sensor Tower can be effective if you're focused on mobile app stores. Similarly, you can use a product like App Annie, which I've used before when I was in charge of marketing for a mobile app, the mobile app version of another product. And they're going to give you information like search volume, difficulty, and what you can do is you can actually combine this data with data that you're getting from another tool like Sensor Tower, and then see which one is the most reliable with the use case that is specific to you.